Hey guys, I'm Katie Witham along with Simon Borg. We're here at the Home Depot Center in Carson, California, where the Houston Dynamo just wrapped up their first and only training here in LA. And really, a lot of the news lately has been same story as last year, same two teams going at it for 2012 MLS Cup. But when you look at the Dynamo, they're a completely different team. Why, Simon?
Well, it starts with Bonya Garcia, who some of his teammates have called the best acquisition in MLS this year. He's on this team. He's a difference maker. Brad Davis, we know, is healthy. Jeff Cameron got injured in the first minutes of the final in 2011. So they feel they are a completely different team, better at possession this year, which is something they didn't have in that 2011 final. But they say they're not even watching that 2011 final. They're not even referencing it at all. There's other video, they say, that can really be more helpful.
And Ricardo Clark, he's been a part of these MLS Cup teams before, but this is the first game that he will play in, obviously making a difference. Now, I know the big news also was what formation are they going to line up? Will it be a 4-4-2? Will it be a 4-3-3? Your take?
That's the really one big question that the Dynamo face, because everyone, for the most part, is healthy. And so that's the big question. Because the players in the mix zone after practice were talking about they need to flood the midfield. They need to dominate the midfield. They need to have more possession. You got to figure they're going to go with 5 midfielders. And the 4-3-3, remember, turns into a 5 midfielder setup when the wingers pull back. So I think it's going to have to be a 4-3-3 here.
And the one thing I really like is the attitude, kind of the vibe with this Dynamo team. They've talked about how this game, completely different from last year. It's all business. They're not getting caught up in the hoopla. Do you think that will make a difference?
I do. I think the attitude will make a difference, because I think last year was very much a miracle run. This year, I think they felt they had the quality to get here, and I think they're feeling a little more disrespected than perhaps they did last year. Perhaps the Beckham announcement has riled them up, that he's retiring and he's taking ownership of this situation. And the Dynamo, remember, they have a player like Brian Chang, who's been a legend at the club, who might retire as well. So I think they will play with a chip on their shoulder in this game, and partly because they lost that final last year, and I think they want to spoil this Beckham going away party.
Well, I know the Dynamo have kind of flown under the radar pretty much all season long. They haven't really gotten the credit they've deserved. Do you feel like, I know that we both spoke with some players about the David Beckham announcement, that it bothered them at all?
They don't say that it bothered them, but you get from the look in their eye and the way they deliver the answer, you look at it, they're not totally happy. But you know what? They're accepting this this premise that they are the lower profile team, they're the under the radar team, and they're using it again as a chip on their shoulder, and they're using it as motivation.
Well, a lot of storylines to follow up on. You can keep up to date on all of the 2012 MLS Cup action. Log on to MLSsoccer.com. Remember, kickoff tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, ESPN and TSN in Canada.